Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that you've spent most of your life worrying about what people think about how you look, what you say, what you do. Every decision, every choice, somehow filtered through the judgment of others. But what if, for the first time, you decided to let it go? What if you chose peace over approval, purpose over popularity, and self-respect over validation? Because here's the truth: when you stop caring about what people think, you don't lose anything that matters. You gain everything you've always needed. True freedom begins when you stop caring about what others think of you. For most of our lives, we've been conditioned to seek validation from family, from friends, from strangers online. Every choice is weighed against invisible expectations, every dream questioned by the fear of disapproval. It becomes exhausting, like carrying a heavy backpack filled with opinions that don't belong to you. The truth is, when you let go of that need for approval, something inside you shifts. You begin to breathe easier, think clearer, and live with a quiet kind of strength that no one can take away. The world will always have something to say. No matter how kind, talented, or disciplined you are, someone somewhere will still find a reason to criticize. But that criticism isn't about you, it's a reflection of their own limitations. When you understand that, you stop internalizing other people's negativity. You realize that what others think doesn't define your worth. It only reveals their perspective, and perspective is temporary, fragile, and easily changed. You cannot live your life bending to the shape of someone else's opinion, because doing so means you're shrinking your potential just to fit their comfort. Letting go of opinions doesn't mean becoming indifferent or disconnected. It means finding peace within yourself strong enough to not be shaken by outside voices. It's about knowing your truth so deeply that no rumor, no judgment, and no misunderstanding can unbalance you. It's the ability to walk into a room not wondering who approves of you, but knowing you already approve of yourself. That is real confidence, not arrogance, but acceptance. When you stop caring about what others think, you stop overthinking your every move. You stop replaying conversations, trying to figure out how you were perceived. You stop apologizing for being yourself. Suddenly, you have more energy, mental, emotional, and physical, to pour into what truly matters: your growth, your health, your happiness. Life feels lighter because you're no longer dragging the invisible weight of other people's expectations behind you. This kind of freedom doesn't appear overnight. It's something you build slowly, choice by choice. Every time you trust your own voice instead of seeking permission, you get stronger. Every time you say no to something that doesn't serve your peace, you reclaim a piece of yourself. And every time you remind yourself that people's opinions are temporary, but your self-respect is permanent, you step closer to liberation. The truth is, no one's opinion can ever change who you really are. They can misjudge you, misunderstand you, or even talk about you, but none of that has the power to rewrite your truth. Only you can do that. And when you finally stop giving energy to what others think, you start giving energy to what makes you come alive. You realize that the only voice you truly need to listen to is your own, calm, grounded, and certain of its worth. That's when you discover what it truly means to be free. Health is one of the purest forms of self-respect. It's not about having the perfect body or following every new fitness trend. It's about caring enough for yourself to nourish, move, and rest in ways that keep you strong. Every meal you eat, every glass of water you drink, every walk you take is a quiet reminder that you value your life. When you choose a healthy diet, you're not just feeding your body, you're feeding your mind, your spirit, and your future. The simple act of preparing wholesome food is a declaration that you deserve the energy, clarity, and peace that come with it. In a world obsessed with appearance, it's easy to think of health as something you do for others, to look better or fit in. But real health isn't a performance, it's a relationship with yourself. It's waking up in the morning and asking, how can I take care of me today? It's understanding that your body has carried you through every challenge, every heartbreak, every success, and it deserves kindness, not criticism. Eating clean, balanced meals, staying hydrated, and avoiding what drains you isn't punishment. It's gratitude in action. Physical activity, even light exercise, is another expression of self-respect. Moving your body doesn't have to mean hours in the gym. It can be a morning walk, stretching by the window, or dancing to your favorite song. These small, consistent movements remind you that you're alive, that your body still responds to love and attention. Exercise is less about changing how you look and more about reminding yourself that you're capable of movement, progress, and renewal. It sharpens the mind, lifts the mood, and strengthens the heart not just physically but emotionally. For older adults especially, health becomes not just a goal but a form of self-preservation. The body may slow down, but it still listens to care. A balanced diet rich in whole foods, lean proteins, and colorful vegetables gives the body what it needs to heal and thrive. Gentle activities like walking, yoga, or swimming maintain flexibility and strength while easing the mind. Rest becomes sacred, and sleep turns into an act of restoration. Health at this stage is not about defying age, it's about embracing it with vitality, intention, and grace. Taking care of yourself physically also transforms your mindset. When you eat well, move often, and rest deeply, your thoughts become lighter. You worry less about judgment and focus more on living fully. You start to see that how you treat your body mirrors how you treat your spirit. When you neglect yourself, life feels heavier. When you nurture yourself, everything flows with ease. Health gives you clarity, it quiets the noise of doubt, and creates space for confidence to grow. There's power in doing the small things, consistently cooking a nourishing meal, drinking more water, walking a little farther, breathing a little deeper. Those habits may seem simple, but they're the foundation of a peaceful life. They remind you that you don't need anyone's approval to care for yourself. You do it because you matter, because your health is your responsibility, and because loving yourself starts with the choices you make each day. When you see health as self-respect, you stop chasing perfection and start honoring progress. You stop comparing your body to others and start appreciating what yours still allows you to do. You realize that caring for your health is one of the most powerful ways to say, without words, I am worthy of a good life. The strongest people in the world aren't the ones with the biggest muscles or the loudest voices. They're the ones who have trained their minds to stay calm in chaos, steady in doubt, and focused in noise. Mindset is the real muscle. It's the foundation on which every other part of life is built. You can eat right, work hard, and have all the resources in the world, but without a strong mindset, it all falls apart. The mind is where battles are won or lost long before any action is taken. What you believe about yourself quietly shapes what you become. Every challenge in life tests this inner strength. When you face rejection, failure, or criticism, your mindset decides whether you break or grow. It whispers one of two things: either I can't handle this, or I'll find a way through. And the truth is, whichever voice you listen to becomes your reality. Training your mind, said, is just like training your body. You have to work on it daily. You build mental resilience by choosing perspective over panic, by replacing fear with faith, and by finding lessons where others only see loss. A strong mindset doesn't mean ignoring pain or pretending to be invincible. It means understanding that pain has purpose, that struggle shapes character, and that every setback carries the seed of growth. When you shift your thinking from "why is this happening to me" to "what is this teaching me," you take back your power. Suddenly, life isn't something that happens to you, it's something that happens for you. This simple shift turns frustration into fuel and fear into focus. The mind is powerful because it's the lens through which you see everything. If your thoughts are clouded with negativity, even the brightest days will look dim. But when your mind is steady and clear, even storms begin to look like opportunities for growth. That's why protecting your mental space is just as important as protecting your physical health. What you read, what you watch, and who you spend time with all feed your mindset. Surround yourself with voices that inspire rather than drain you, with people who remind you of your potential instead of your limitations. Discipline is another form of mental strength. It's doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's saying no to distractions, yes to consistency, and trusting that small steps lead to big change. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, no matter how small, your mindset grows stronger. You begin to believe in your own word, and that belief becomes unshakable confidence. The real test of mindset comes in silence when no one is watching, when doubts creep in, and when quitting feels easier. That's when mental training matters most. Choosing persistence over comfort, calm over chaos, and gratitude over complaint builds invisible strength that carries you through everything. The mind, once trained, becomes your greatest ally. It stops reacting to negativity and starts responding with clarity. It stops chasing validation and starts building purpose. When you learn to control your thoughts instead of letting them control you, you discover a kind of power that doesn't fade. A quiet force that keeps you moving no matter what stands in your way. There comes a point in life when you realize that chasing applause will never fill the emptiness that comes from ignoring your purpose. Approval is temporary. It fades as quickly as it's given. But purpose, that's what lasts. It's the reason you wake up in the morning, the quiet fire that keeps you going when no one's watching. Choosing purpose over popularity is one of the hardest yet most liberating decisions you'll ever make, because it means letting go of the need to please and learning to live in alignment with what truly matters to your soul. Popularity is seductive. It gives you attention, recognition, and the illusion of importance. But it's fragile, built on trends, opinions, and the fleeting interest of others. One moment you're celebrated, the next you're forgotten. Purpose, on the other hand, is steady. It doesn't depend on who's watching or who approves. It's a personal mission that gives meaning to everything you do. When you act from purpose, you stop performing and start living. Your energy shifts from seeking validation to creating value. You stop asking, "Do they like me?" and start asking, "Am I making a difference?" The truth is, people's opinions are unpredictable. You can do everything right and still be criticized. You can do everything wrong and still be admired. That's why living for popularity is a trap. It keeps you chasing a moving target. But when you live with purpose, you create your own definition of success. You measure progress not by how loud the applause is, but by how aligned your actions feel with your values. You stop comparing your journey to others because you finally understand that your path is unique, built for you and you alone. Following your purpose often means walking alone for a while. It means being misunderstood, doubted, or even ridiculed. But solitude becomes strength when you realize that standing alone for something meaningful is far better than standing with the crowd for something empty. Every person who's ever created something great, an idea, a legacy, a movement, had to ignore the noise of popularity long enough to listen to the voice within. That inner voice is where purpose lives. It's quiet, but it's honest, and it always knows the way, even when the world doesn't. Purpose also brings peace. When you know why you're doing something, criticism loses its sting. Failure stops feeling final because you know it's just part of the process. You start to trust the timing of your journey instead of rushing to keep up with others. You realize that slow progress is still progress, and that doing something meaningful, even imperfectly, is far more fulfilling than doing something popular without heart. When your actions come from purpose, you begin to attract the right people, the right opportunities, and the right energy. You stop needing to prove yourself and start being yourself. That's when life starts to feel lighter and more real. You're no longer trapped by the fear of being disliked, because you finally understand that the goal isn't to be liked by everyone, it's to be loved by the right ones and respected by yourself. Popularity may shine for a moment, but purpose glows for a lifetime. It doesn't fade with time. It grows stronger with every choice that honors your truth. Peace is one of the greatest powers a person can possess. It's not loud, it doesn't demand attention, and it doesn't need to prove itself. True peace lives quietly within you, untouched by noise, criticism, or chaos. It's the calm that comes when you stop letting people live in your head. When you stop allowing every opinion, judgment, or misunderstanding to take up space in your thoughts, you reclaim control over your emotions and your energy. You begin to realize that peace isn't something you find outside yourself. It's something you build from within, choice by choice, moment by moment. Letting go of other people's opinions doesn't mean you stop caring about others. It means you stop carrying them. You stop replaying conversations in your head, wondering what you could have said differently. You stop overthinking every decision, afraid of how it might be perceived. Instead, you start living in alignment with your own values. You speak, act, and choose from a place of clarity rather than fear. The less space you give to judgment, the more room you make for peace. And in that peace, you find strength, a kind of quiet confidence that no one can give or take away. Peace isn't the absence of problems, it's the presence of balance. Life will always bring challenges, but a peaceful mind faces them differently. Instead of reacting impulsively, you respond with understanding. Instead of being consumed by anger, you choose patience. This doesn't happen overnight, it's something you cultivate through self-awareness and consistent practice. It begins with protecting your mental environment, just as carefully as you would protect your home. You decide what enters and what stays out, what thoughts, what voices, what energy you allow to influence you. Daily routines can help build that inner calm. Morning gratitude, mindful breathing, or a few minutes of quiet reflection create space between your thoughts and your reactions. Physical movement, a walk, a stretch, a bit of light exercise helps release tension from the body and clears mental clutter. Nourishing your body with clean, balanced food supports your emotional balance as well. When the body feels good, the mind finds it easier to rest. Peace grows in environments where your habits honor your well-being. As you protect your peace, you'll notice that the world around you starts to change too. The same challenges that once overwhelmed you become manageable. The same words that once hurt you lose their power. You begin to respond to life with wisdom rather than worry. You realize that not every battle deserves your energy, and not every opinion needs your reaction. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stay silent, stay still, and let peace speak for you. Peace is strength disguised as softness. It's what allows you to walk away without resentment, to forgive without bitterness, and to move forward without fear. When your mind is calm, you stop being pulled in every direction by other people's emotions and expectations. You start living with intention, clarity, and purpose. And when you learn to protect your peace, you discover that no matter what happens outside you, nothing can shake the stability you've built within.